Everyone who watched Storage Wars couldn't help but remember Mary Padian. You couldn't help but notice her because of her eccentric charisma and her extraordinary talent for transforming ordinary objects into works of art. Mary consistently added something unique to the show, whether she was bidding on mysterious storage facilities or turning rusted antiques into stunning sculptures. However, she vanished from the limelight in an instant. Just off the screen, no big farewell or statement. What happened to Mary, the fans wanted to know. Has she finally departed from the realm of storage lockers? Does she still seek out valuables? Bidding wars and forgotten storage units brimming with hidden treasures weren't things Mary Padian ever imagined when she was a kid. However, we never know where life will lead us. Mary, who was born on August 24, 1980, in Dallas, Texas, has always been an artist. Did you know that Mary's family has a small but noticeable history in the entertainment industry? While her famous businessman father was John Padian, Teresa's fascinating career as a real estate agent in Texas was her mother's claim to fame. Perhaps that's where Mary first noticed opportunities when they presented herself. The ability to find merit in things that others dismiss appears to run in the family. Hearing her origin story behind the camera makes sense in light of her talent for capturing the beauty in everyday objects. While enrolled in a photography program at UT Austin, she mastered the art of one-click story capture. Mary Padian's initial major career move upon graduating from college was to settle into a downtown New York City apartment. What would it be like? A small-town Texan finds herself thrust into the spotlight as the associate editor of Architectural Digest, a revered design publication. It felt as though I had entered a realm of unparalleled opulence, originality, and state-of-the-art style. Stunning decor, luxurious furnishings, and exquisite spaces enveloped her. Anyone with an eye for style would have thought it was the ideal job. When you look around, do you ever see things that other people miss, such abandoned structures or unused but potentially valuable objects? That was the sensation Mary had whenever she strolled the streets of New York or perused fashion publications. The tales behind people's discarded items had something to offer, and she knew it when she saw vintage. Mary may have been in this glitzy realm, but something still didn't feel right. Undoubtedly, she adored the originality. But life in New York was hectic and lacking in the quaintness of her childhood. The flashy, pricey things weren't her only passion. The weathered, the ancient, the overlooked, all of these things drew her in. At the very second that others would walk right by, she would see the inherent charm of a weathered sign or an antique wooden chair. Mary may have enjoyed design, but the hectic pace of city life wasn't quite her speed. The excitement of making something new and different and working with her hands was something she missed. She had an epiphany at that moment. Creating beautiful things is more fulfilling than simply appreciating them. She was suddenly struck dumb. Instead of only appreciating design, she aspired to be a creator. Consequently, Mary began to redirect her efforts and returned to Texas, where she established a little boutique named Mary's Finds. Her store was filled with unique antiques, repurposed furniture, and vintage finds. Picture a combination of an abandoned building and an art gallery. But Mary was more than a saleswoman. With each item she selected, she conveyed a story. The fact that a girl from New York who was shooting photos ended up searching through Texas storage containers is funny, isn't it? However, her narrative doesn't end there. Even at an early age, Mary Padian was a sight to behold, thanks to her magnetic personality and that rare combination of attractiveness and intelligence. She was famous for her charming personality and contagious laugh. However, what truly distinguished her was her knack for discovering buried treasures. Rumors over Mary's relationship status have persisted for some time, despite her apparent attractiveness and charisma. Given her mesmerizing and charismatic on-screen persona, fans have frequently wondered about her romantic life. The fact that she is a reality TV star, where her relationships and her struggles are frequently the focus of the show, is key to her mystique. Mary has always maintained the utmost discretion regarding her private life. It could be due to Mary's preference for secrecy or her intense concentration on her vintage finds and commercial ventures. However, prior to her appearance on Storage Wars, she was seldom ever seen with a companion. How is she single while so many of her admirers seem to be in committed relationships? After all, she possessed all the admirable traits: attractiveness, intelligence, and sociability. However, Mary's priorities were always more closely aligned with her passions, such as her shop and her creative endeavors. Instead of pursuing a relationship that could derail her progress toward her ambitions, she appeared to find satisfaction in creating something for herself. She became a beloved by viewers despite the fact that her romantic life was shrouded in mystery before the show. Her charisma and friendliness won everyone over. The question of whether Mary was seeing anyone quickly spread. However, she kept her romantic relationships under wraps even when the cameras were rolling. And who could say she was wrong? Moving on to something that, dare I say it, will surprise you. She won an internet contest for most likely to become a reality TV star before she became the famous Storage Wars celebrity that we all know and love. It seems somewhat extreme, doesn't it? Who would have thought that a curious young Texan who runs a vintage shop would end up on television, digging into storage units? Evidently, though, the warning flags had previously been raised. Before Mary Padian even realized what was coming, it was as if fate was nudging her in the right direction. So, it seemed like fate was writing Mary's future when she won the internet prize for most likely to become a reality TV star. Prepare yourself, Mary, a great thing is about to happen. The cosmos seemed to be saying it in a low voice. Everything seemed to click into place after she received the call to join Storage Wars Texas. It seems like that prize wasn't only a light-hearted wager. It was more of a hint that Mary was about to go on an incredible journey. She was already attracting attention and striking out when producers discovered her in 2012, they couldn't have been more pleased. She could finally indulge her passion for treasure-seeking at last, and this was the ideal occasion for her. Upon her initial casting, she wasted no time proving to fans why she was perfect for the role. Actually, her popularity among fans skyrocketed. Upon her screen debut, Mary immediately set a new standard for originality with her inventive discoveries. It wasn't only valuable stuff that she sought. The unusual, the eccentric, and the things that would make people go, "Whoa, that's actually pretty cool," were her targets. Her extraordinary talent for spotting promising young talent was one of the things that drew audiences to her. However, the enchantment was not solely due to the valuables she discovered. Someone recognized her. It was hard not to cheer for Mary because of her contagious enthusiasm. You couldn't help but be captivated by her, whether she was engaging in a bidding battle, making jokes, or displaying her most recent discovery. Some of the best TV moments ever happened because she was approachable, humorous, and slightly surprising. Mary wasn't an original cast member, but her energetic demeanor and frequent appearances helped her become a fan favorite. And a talent for discovering previously unknown gems. The basic idea was the same as in the first Storage Wars in Storage Wars, Texas. Those with a grudge would fight over who could get their hands on the valuables stashed in abandoned storage lockers. Mary was exceptional because of her one-of-a-kind set of skills. Even the most neglected or broken things could be transformed into something priceless by her extraordinary knack for seeing potential in them. The depth of the show was further enhanced by her relationships with her co-stars. Her admirers enjoyed watching the friendly rivalry between her and her fellow bidders, which was both humorous and occasionally competitive. Some of the show's most memorable scenes were the ones in which she interacted with the other actors, such as the brusque but endearing Ricky and the sharp and humorous Ivy, whom she calls her BFs. Mary had an outstanding run on Storage Wars Texas, which began with her debut. Rather than settling for the role of regular, she embraced it and became known as the Junkster. Her discoveries were astounding, her energy was infectious, and her intuition was spot on, so it's no wonder she was so successful. Everything she pulled out was delicious, even if you had no idea what was coming next. Mary Padian's thrilling adventure took an exciting turn in 2014 when she joined the original Storage Wars in its 5th season, following her impact on Storage Wars Texas. Things began to pick up speed for her at that point. Those who had adored her on the spin-off were overjoyed to witness her transfer her contagious enthusiasm to the flagship series. Even among the more seasoned bidders, she quickly established her place. Mary couldn't help but be captivated by the unique and surprising finds, even when the other bidders were fixated on expensive stuff. The promise in objects that others would ignore was always apparent to Mary, whether it was a dusty old painting, a vintage lamp, or a collection of eccentric artifacts. She saw more than just trash. Undiscovered treasures beckoned to her, just begging to be rescued and reborn. With each passing season, Mary's role in the show grew increasingly crucial. She had graduated from the role of guest star to that of important buyer. Making appearances across several seasons and establishing a reputation for consistently bringing excitement and success to the bidding battles. She was the clear winner on Storage Wars thanks to her tireless efforts, innovative ideas, and infectious enthusiasm. Who could ever forget her chemistry with the rest of the cast? Mary was consistently genuine throughout the show, whether she was engaging in friendly conversation with Brandy or Jared or in a fun competition with Dave Hester. Crafting unforgettable experiences. It wasn't merely about the artifacts, it was about the characters, their quirks, and how Mary's cheerful demeanor elevated the experience. The era of Storage Wars came to a close in January 2019 with the airing of the series finale, which followed 12 seasons. We will always remember Mary for the influence she had on the show. Mary Padian may have become famous on Storage Wars, but it's not the only part of her life that is filmed. Her strong sense of family and her will to succeed as an entrepreneur. She has never been bashful in expressing her love and devotion to her family, and her siblings are no exception. She cherishes her relationship with her siblings, whom she became famous for as the camera-ready star of Storage Wars. She has always relied on her family. Her siblings have been essential in molding her into the person she is now, and she frequently discusses this. Beyond the realm of storage warfare, what many may not realize is the extent to which Mary is committed to her business. Her business mentality is deeply ingrained, however she is most recognized for her shop, Mary's Finds. She's an ambitious woman who's always planning new things to do to build her business. The store is more than simply a vintage goods marketplace. She puts her heart and soul into every item she makes it her passion endeavor, making sure that every part tells a tale. Treasure hunting is only one of her many talents. What matters to her is giving those valuables a fresh perspective so that others can see them in a different way. However, she also finds balance in her life away from the cameras. Mary is passionate about her work and succeeds in the fast-paced world of television and business, but she also knows the need of self-care. She finds great solace in being rooted and in the company of her loved ones, regardless of how bright the spotlight is. She had hit her stride, riding high on the popularity of Storage Wars and winning fans over with her endearing personality, hilarious antics, and keen sense of humor. Mary Padian appeared to be in every media outlet, and her devoted fans couldn't get enough of her. Then, almost as quickly as she emerged into the limelight, she disappeared. She was hilariously bidding on storage facilities 1 second and then disappeared from the air the next. The audience seemed perplexed. Who or what caused Mary to depart? There was no spectacular drama or public feuds, it was just an ordinary exit. Rather, it was more of a subtle change in focus, leaving viewers to wonder what was going on behind the scenes. Mary had her reasons, but it wasn't an easy decision. As her life and profession progressed, her objectives shifted, and she decided to leave. Mary Padian was just getting her start following the 2019 Storage Wars conclusion, when you might have assumed she would vanish from the show. After leaving the show, Mary embarked on a new and exciting chapter of her life, during which she explored her interests in many fascinating ways. First things first, let's discuss what Mary found. As soon as Storage Wars ended, Mary dove headfirst into expanding her vintage shop. With her newfound freedom, she could devote even more time to her lifelong passion, treasure hunting. She expanded outside her brick-and-mortar store. More individuals were able to shop her carefully selected vintage products when she increased her internet presence. Many people who wanted to give their homes a little more character frequented Mary's shop for its eccentric furniture, one-of-a-kind decorations, and unique findings. Mary embraced the shift from television celebrity to successful businesswoman with ease. Not only that, though. The social media game is still going strong for Mary. She posts frequently on Instagram, documenting her latest antique finds and do-it-yourself projects. Seeing Mary's life and her discovery from the backstage is like entering a secret club. Her devotion to design, her enthusiasm for the kitchen, and even random personal updates are all on display for her fans. In addition to advertising her company, she wants to keep in touch with her audience and let them in on her innermost thoughts and feelings. Even now, Mary has the same contagious enthusiasm that made her a star on Storage Wars, and it's clear that she loves interacting with her fans and showcasing her artistic side. Mary occasionally appears in front of the camera in addition to operating her business and sharing her newest discoveries. She remains actively involved in the vintage and interior design communities through her participation in pop-up events, fan meet and greets, and market appearances. She seemed to have never truly departed. The difference is that she is now operating independently. Mary relishes the opportunity to meet her admirers in person since they still love to meet the woman behind the treasure-hunting reputation. Our girl Mary seemed to have mastered the art of relaxation despite all the hectic pace of modern life. Dylan, her boyfriend of a few years, is able to maintain a healthy relationship despite her busy schedule of public appearances, her successful business, and her social media presence. Mary may not be tied the knot just yet, but she and Dylan appear to have formed a solid, mutually supportive relationship. Their low-key relationship is likely the reason why followers don't see him often on her social media posts or in the spotlight. From what we can observe, though, Dylan is an individual who respects her personal space, encourages her interests, and plays a significant role in her life. It would appear that Mary and Dylan's relationship is solid, based on love and respect, whether they're seeing new locations, spending time alone, or appreciating her vintage. Few specifics regarding the first meeting between Mary Padian and Dylan, who supposedly met a few years ago, are known. Mary occasionally mentions him in her social media posts, suggesting that they struck it off right away. They've been tight-lipped about their romance's inception, and Mary has been reticent to discuss their meeting in any great depth. But she has made it plain that Dylan is important to her. When Mary shared a few Instagram photos of herself and her boyfriend, their relationship became public knowledge. Mary has a knack for sharing intimate details of her life on social media, and Dylan's hints were picked up by her fans. Most of her followers found out about her lover through her posts, as they started to recognize him over time. Mary clearly cherishes Dylan and his privacy because his appearances on Mary's social media have been somewhat understated. She revealed snippets of their romance, such as memories from trips, unplanned adventures, or simply unwinding at home together. Mary has consistently been considerate of their personal lives, allowing her admirers to enjoy her posts without disclosing too much, even if some of her fans were interested in knowing more about their relationship. They clearly have a close relationship, even though Mary hasn't made a public revelation about how they met. Her admirers have grown to value the insights into her private life. She has maintained an honest approach, centering her attention on her work, her interests, and her relationship with Dylan, which is a breath of new air. What we don't know about Mary now makes us wonder, what will happen to her and Dylan now that we know so much about her? Will they keep their relationship a secret for the foreseeable future, or will we get more glimpses of it? We can only wait to see what happens next in Mary's love and life stories, but one thing is certain, we are always intrigued by her path.